we're gonna, so I want to do 2 walks. I'm not taking the dogs on the first walk because I just think, I don't know, I think it's getting a bit too much for them. When I do 2 walks in one go, I think Ella's nearly 13, Princess is 16. It's like, I'm just gonna try only doing 1 walk with them. They probably won't be happy with me because they want to go on every walk I do. They'll know that I've been for a walk without them, and it gets them moody. They're pretty clever, but you know, they are old. So we're going to do 2 walks. Hi Jeanette. Hi Jeanette, I haven't seen you on for a while. How are you? So, defending Elvis Presley, fans want the truth. The most dramatic YouTube channel in the world, defending Elvis Presley. It makes me laugh, that does. Hi Emily. So I'm going to do a quick 25-minute walk on my own, then I'm going to go back, get the dogs, and we're going to do a second walk. 1 on here, 1 on the keto channel. Let's give you an update on what we've been doing. Hi Lorna. All right. So I'm going to give you an update on what we've been doing, okay? So I woke up this morning, do you know, a bit low on energy today. Hi Jimmy. Normally I'm booming with energy. I got thin because I find that I get my most energy if I mainly eat fatty meat and eggs, and fish, things like that, you know, cheese. But I had 2 days where I had salad. You are fine. Oh, you got Lisa Marie's book finally. Well done. Did you like it, Jeanette? Was it a good book? Did you love it? Because we all do. It is very difficult to read, very emotional. You do get tearful, but a very honest book. A very honest book. I'm funny about reading it because a lot of it is upsetting. So yes, Emily, I find if I try and read it on air, you know, while we're doing a live stream, I get too tearful. I sometimes struggle to get my words out on that book. So I've always got it with me. Hi Vincenzo, we're gonna have a nice chat on a walk today in England. You're on the 3rd chapter, yeah. It does get pretty tough. Now what it is, it's a very easy read. Nice big letters. Some of the chapters can be quite long. You really do get a sense of Riley. You really do get a sense of Lisa Marie from that book. You really do. Some very honest things in that book. Some very surprising things in the book. You do get a feel for how she feels towards her mother, which is sad. There's a couple of little surprises in there, like how she felt about Ginger Alden. Just little bits and bobs that make you see the world from Lisa's point of view. Yeah, England's nice. Today is overcast, look. Overcast and chilly and windy, which is why my hair's gonna just get blown around. But I like cool weather. I live in a town called Weston-super-Mare. Jeanette is in America, isn't she? I'm near Bristol. I do like England. I like the fact that we get hot weather and cold weather. I don't like it when it's hot all the time. You're in Canada, right? Okay. We love Canada. I've got a friend who lives in Ontario. I think I told you last time, didn't I? Simon. And he's into the hockey. He's into the hockey stuff. I think he manages a team over there. Anyway, I had a childhood friend who was Canadian when I was growing up. From about age 11 to about 17, I was friends with Simon, my Canadian friend. And his father had a Canadian disco called the Canadian Connection. The Canadian Connection, which was really good actually. Good fun. Anyway, let's get to the point, guys. So this morning my energy levels weren't as high as normal. I've noticed if I have salad, my energy levels aren't as high as if I just eat meat. When I just eat meat, I've got more energy. Fatty meat, yeah? As soon as I throw in the salad, a bit of fruit, my energy levels reduce. That's the carnivore diet for you guys. The keto diet, the carnivore diet. Anyway, let's get to the topic of Elvis. It is windy, by the way. Windy. Windy, windy, windy. Right, let's cross the road. Look at this car, guys. Woo, look at that car. That's what I call a car. Look at that. Whee. That's what I call a car. Whee. Oh. Sports car, yeah? So, I woke up this morning. Sounds like a song. Sounds like a song, doesn't it? Woke up this morning, I was doing fine. It's the mamas and papas, isn't it? Where's your mama gone? Where's your mama gone? Far, far away. It's funny, that where's your mama gone, I remember it as a kid. Obviously, because I was a kid and it says, where's your mama gone? Do you remember that song, guys? Put it in the comments. So I woke up this morning, determined to do some lives, because I've had 2 days where I didn't do many lives. And obviously at the moment, we are looking at fake Elvis channels. It's something we're doing. But I'd also promised to do, I promised myself actually, I wanted to do a video praising Marion Koch, Elvis's nurse from around 1975. Obviously she passed away, and there was that very heartfelt short that had been released, I think by a family member, quite emotional. You know, she was almost in tears, telling the world that one of Elvis's nurses who looked after him for about a year and a half had passed away. She spent her life. Let me just get past these people. So she spent her life, I honestly think, sorry I missed that, Vincenzo, I missed that comment. She spent her life praising Elvis, talking about her special friendship and connection that she had with him. Elvis felt safe around her. He said he didn't mind the young, pretty nurses looking after him, but when it was serious and when he truly felt unwell, he wanted Marion by his side. She spoke about how he phoned her once. Lewisham, oh yeah. How Elvis had phoned her and woke her up, saying he was unwell and he wanted her close by. And the wind is blowing my hair around. So she gets up out of bed and her husband says to her, "Where are you going?" Yeah, you can. Yeah, Martha, you can, yes. So Marianne with an A says, "Elvis needs me. I'm going there now," even though it was the middle of the night. She was straight there, and when she got there, he seemed okay, and she just sat there with him for 4 to 5 hours and held his hand. And he fell asleep. That's how sweet things were between Marianne. Yeah, we love Elvis. We love Elvis, Jeanette, don't we? Now, the reason she got the job, from what I can tell, is that Dr. Nick liked her, trusted her. My guess is that Elvis liked her straight away. Yeah, I've heard, it's Vincenzo, I've heard it's like over £180. I've heard that. So basically, It sounds like Elvis trusted her. It sounds like Dr. Nick trusted her. She makes it very clear. Marion makes it very clear she really liked Dr. Nick. She felt Dr. Nick did everything that he could for Elvis, almost given an impossible task, because obviously Elvis, I think Dr. Nick met Elvis in the 60s, something to do with saddle sores, on a movie set, I think, from memory. But they obviously carried on. I just think, for some reason, Elvis, and I have to admit this, for some reason, Elvis did really feel that there was an answer for any medical problems in a bottle. Now, I don't mean that to be insulting. I think Elvis really trusted his doctors. So Elvis would go to his doctors for help with insomnia, with energy. Of course, he needed to sleep. He needed to relax. He needed energy to work because he overworked. Elvis was a workaholic. But I do think that this situation where Elvis turned to his doctors for everything, and I do agree with this comment that was mentioned the other day. If you read Anita Wood's book, he'd already started, how can I say this carefully? I don't want to upset anyone. There was indication that he relied on prescribed medication, probably more than he should have. We have to at least admit that, don't we? Now, yes, Elvis was unwell as a child, probably as a teenager. He had medical problems in his 20s and 30s as well, I would say. So he's always turning to his doctors. Now, Elvis, being a very smart man, had the book that described what each tablet did. So Elvis thought he had a hold of things. He thought he understood the different tablets, the ingredients of the tablets, what the tablets were for, the side effects of the tablets. I think Elvis felt he had hold of it. He had a grasp of it. And he took this book with him. And Anita Wood does say, Anita Wood's daughter, Juanetta, says that Anita told her that Elvis did keep a trunk in his boot of his car that had all these different medications in the boot of his car. Now, and this is going way back, isn't it? This is in the 60s. I do think, this is what I think. Now, some of you may say, oh no, Elvis needed his prescribed medication, relied on them, but who doesn't? My mum now is 83, I think. Now my mum always had 20, 30 pots of prescribed medications next to her bed. She took the ones that she felt were going to help her ease her pain, soothe her discomforts, fix her body. Now, there's no way you would have said to my mum in the 1970s growing up that you're a drug addict. You would never have said that to her. She was a woman that felt that she was unwell. She would have been in her 30s. She turned to her doctor. She turned to her doctor for help, and obviously doctors always prescribe tablets. You expect them to, if anything. Vincenzo, I understand your point. But my point is this. Just because Elvis relied on his prescribed medication doesn't mean he was a drug addict. It just means that he turned to his doctors for help. And what does your doctor do when you turn to him? You get a tablet. Even me now. If I went to a doctor now and said to the doctor, I got a headache, he'll give me a tablet. If I said to a doctor, I'm feeling a bit down, he'll give me a tablet. If I said to my doctor, I have anxiety, he'll give me a tablet. Do you get what I'm saying, guys? If my blood pressure is high, he'll give me a tablet. Do you see where I'm going, guys? If my blood sugars are way too high, he'll give me a tablet. That's what doctors do. That's what doctors do. Does it matter that these tablets don't work, are addictive, have side effects, have long-term side effects? Not really, because we the public are taking tablets that our doctors give us. So really, Elvis didn't do anything wrong. Yeah, Elvis would keep his tablets in a box in the boot of his car. He had his book that described what each tablet did. But did he do anything wrong? I don't think so. I missed that. Vincenzo, I missed that last comment. Elvis was a typical man in the 60s and 70s and the 50s that went to his doctor and got tablets for his problems. That's all he was. Now, did the problem increase as he got older? Well, yes, but so did Elvis's medical problems. So did Elvis's chronic sicknesses. There we are. Emily has been on Xanax for 35 years and for anxiety, because the anxiety would cripple her. Oh, that's so sad, Emily. Emily, do the keto diet. It will help your anxiety. Emily, do my diet. It will help your anxiety. Please try it. Try it for 1 month. Anyway, as I was saying, so Elvis had pain, he had anxiety, he would get headaches. Some say he even had onset of arthritis. We know about the glaucoma, we know about the stomach issues. Elvis had serious stomach issues. Yeah, Priscilla Presley, if you read Michael Edwards' book, yeah, she did snort cocaine. They would have their little cocaine parties, wouldn't they? Sex parties. Anyway, that's a different topic. What I'm trying to say to you guys is, let's not tarnish and ruin Elvis's reputation, because he did what everyone does. He got unwell, he turned to his doctor. He couldn't sleep, he turned to his doctor. Nothing more than that. Nothing more than that. Yes, of course, as the chronic problems increased, as he got more into the 60s and early 70s, he needed more medication. He needed steroids. Pain was a real problem for Elvis. The biggest problem, I would say, was his sleeping. Yep, Vincenzo, I know about that. I know about the arteries, which many things can cause that, but poor diet could have been a problem. We don't really know, do we? We don't really truly know what made Elvis unwell. We don't really know. We can blame the diet, we can blame overworking, we can say it was inherited and genetically passed down. He could have just been very unlucky. It could have been the environment that he grew up in, Tupelo, couldn't it? We don't really know what made Elvis unwell. There was many reasons. Don't forget, we got pollution as well. We've got to weigh that factor in Tupelo. There's just so many different things that could have made Elvis unwell. But he only really had one choice. A man who was a workaholic in the 50s, traveling and doing as many concerts as possible to please the fans, to make money. A very hard-working man who needed energy, who needed his sleep. Just that alone will make him take things. Yeah, you're right, Vincenzo. He didn't like the hard drugs. He didn't believe in street drugs. So as he gets older, he gets more unwell. He will always have turned to his doctors. And yes, Elvis had a suitcase of prescribed medications that probably Anita Wood was shocked to see. you know, a young man relying on these things for sleeping, but she wouldn't have had insomnia like Elvis had. Elvis had very chronic insomnia. But I can see how Anita Wood was shocked. If you read the book, it's in there. She was surprised. But don't forget, Elvis still looked very, very well all through the 60s and the early 70s. We don't really know the truth, do we, guys? Here we are. Jeanette is on Prozac. And Jeanette, I bet you can tell me that you start off by having one, and then slowly you need more, and before you know it, you're addicted. You can't come off them, because when you come off them, you feel down. It's a vicious cycle, isn't it? But these tablets are prescribed by a doctor. It doesn't make you a drug addict. Yeah, I know he did with Senso. He would take enough for all the crew. Dr. Nick would look after all the staff, all the crew, all the Memphis Mafia. So he needed a suitcase of tablets, especially when they were flying from city to city. I know about this, but he was a doctor. Of course he had a suitcase of pills. He was a doctor. The point of what I'm trying to say is that really what Elvis did was completely normal. Completely normal. He just was unwell, he would have problems, and he would turn to his doctors for help. That's it. Yes, when people talk about Elvis, the non-fans that don't really know what's going on. Yeah, Jimmy just said, we didn't know the side effects back then. No, we didn't. But you know what, even if we did, they still would have took them. It's like the tablets even now. Jimmy, if you go to the doctor now and he prescribes tablets to you, you know there's side effects. You know it. You know there's side effects. You still take them. If a doctor gives you Prozac, you don't go, oh, I'm not going to take them because of the side effects, because they're addictive. You just take them because you want to feel better. If a doctor gives you a painkiller, you don't not take them because they have side effects and they're addictive. You take them because you need them, because you're in pain. This is the same for Elvis. He was given different medications. He was given medications and he took them and had to accept the side effects like we all do today in 2025. Luckily on my diet, my carnivore diet, my keto diet, I am pain-free and I'm med-free. I don't take any tablets. But when I had my ulcerative colitis, which is like IBS, IBD, Crohn's, that kind of stuff, I took steroids, yeah? I don't take them now because my diet cured me, which is why I run the channel Elvis Presley Fan on Keto. Because I know that the carnivore diet, the keto diet, can save your life and cure you and take you off medication and stop you being type 2 diabetic. If you're pre-diabetic, it will reverse it. So, yeah, he did. I know Vincenzo, Michael Jackson, and what's his name? Prince. Prince was the same thing, wasn't it? Prince was the same thing. Too much tablets. Trying to soothe their problems, trying to self-medicate, and in the end, problems. So the point of this live stream, guys, is more just to say, what did Marion say to us? Marion said, all right, I understand, Emily, yeah. Emily, I do understand what you're saying. Balancing the serotonin. One of the things that Marion said, Elvis's private nurse, who truly loved him, spent her life honouring him, she said Elvis wanted to be seen as a man, not to be worshipped. This is Marion's own words. Elvis wanted his fans to see him as a true, decent human being, a God-fearing, religious human being. And that's what he was. So he needed his medication, his prescribed medication, just like everyone else does. Just like everybody else that turns to their doctor for help, to their nurses, to their pharmacists, in the hope that he would be cured, he would get better, that he would ease his pain, ease his discomfort, be able to sleep. He just wanted to sleep. Then when he woke up, he wanted to be alert and awake so he could perform. So he could either make a movie or perform a concert, sometimes 2-3 concerts a day. In the 60s, 2-3 movies a year sometimes. So did Elvis really do anything wrong? Now I do think that towards the end, especially 1976, 77, things did run away from him. I think he was so desperate, things had got very extreme, that he really did, how can I say it? Some people would call it abuse the medication. I don't. I call it being desperate. Being desperate. When you're that desperate, in that much discomfort, in that much pain, you're going to grab the pills and take more of them in the hope that if you take more, you get better quicker. If you take more pills, your pain eases. Do you know what I mean, guys? Have you ever had that? Have you ever had that unbearable pain, whether it be a toothache or headache or a migraine or a body pain? Have you ever had that where because of it, you take a few more pills? Yeah, that's right, Vincenzo. Have you ever had that where just the pain is just too much? So what you do, you take more. Pat has. Of course you do. Have you ever had that toothache where you feel like you're going to die? Toothache can make you feel like you're going to die. Back pain can be so unbearable, you can't even move. You can't sleep. You can't walk. You can't stand up. You can't get out of bed. So what do? You take a handful of pills to stop the pain so you can walk, so you can sleep, to stop the pain. Put yourself in Elvis's shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. He just wanted to get through the day. Elvis wanted to get through the day. He had a busy day ahead. Stressed as well and depressed, yeah? Emily, stressed and depressed and pain. And he couldn't go to the toilet. Do any of you know how it feels to not be able to go to the toilet? Have any of you ever had extreme constipation, a twisted colon, an enlarged colon? Have any of you ever had that, where it's so severe, you literally feel like you're going to have a heart attack when you go to the toilet? Elvis had that. Could you imagine the medication he took for that? Seriously strong steroids. And you don't take them all through your mouth. Enemas, is that what they call them? Enemas. Elvis had that. Elvis even had breathing difficulties. We know he had high blood pressure. So guys, come on, what do you do when all that is happening to you? Doesn't matter who you are, whether you're Elvis Presley or not. What do? You take a pill and hope for the best. You take a pill and hope for the best. So, I understand why Elvis had a suitcase with medication in it. I understand why Elvis had the book that described each tablet. Is it called a PDQ, a PDF? I can't remember now. Elvis was a human being. This is what Marion said. Elvis was a human being, wanted to be seen as a human being. So, as we human beings do in the modern world, we go to our doctors, we take our pills, we ignore the side effects, we ignore they're addictive, and we just cross our fingers and hope for the best. And if we're very lucky, we get cured, the pain is reduced, we can relax, we can sleep. Hi, Elizabeth, I'm just finishing up now, but don't worry, we're coming straight back on the keto channel. So anyway, you get what I'm saying, guys. Elvis was human. There was nothing unusual about Elvis turning to his doctors and taking tablets. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. But yes, at the end, yeah, the PDR, that's it, Vincenzo. But at the end, it got too much. We have to accept that. We have to admit that. As much as we worship and admire Elvis, worship's the wrong word. As much as we love Elvis, he was a human and he did what everyone else does when they're not well. He turned to his doctors and he took too many tablets. Come on. Many of you here may have taken too many tablets at some point in your life. It's because we're human. Elvis was human. And again and again and again, we hear the stories that show us just how human Elvis was. How decent and kind and caring and loving he was. He made mistakes. He got things wrong sometimes. Sometimes temptation got the better of him. But he was still a beautiful human inside and out. Yeah, I've got that book, Vincenzo. Vincenzo, I've got that book. A lot of that book is very uncomfortable to read. So I only read little bits of it. Guys, I'm going to swap over now to Elvis Presley Fan on Keto. I'll have the dogs with me this time. So Elvis Presley Fan on Keto in 3 minutes. I'll see you there, guys. I'll see you all on Elvis Presley Fan on Keto. Thanks, guys.